Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you my special shrimp lo mein recipe. But most importantly, I'm going to show you how to avoid that sticky lo mein noodle situation. So let's get going. Here are all my main lo mein ingredients. Here are 24 shrimp that have been peeled and deveined and cleaned. And I have here 500 grams of lo mein. Here's 250 grams and here's 250 grams. And then here's 175 grams or about 3 cups of Napa cabbage or Chinese cabbage. And this is 2 cups of bean sprouts or about 50 grams. And I have 1 small onion here. This is about 125 grams. These onions are sliced like that. And this is just 60 grams of carrots that I have julienned. This is about 3 1/4 cups. And this is about 70 grams of sliced mushrooms, which I cut out from about 6 or 7 mushrooms. And here's 25 grams of spring onions. This is about like 2 stalks. If you have green onions, use green onions, those are better. Okay, and now for the sauce, I have sesame oil, and then here is oyster sauce. This is light soy sauce, dark soy sauce, Chinese cooking wine. I have Shaoxing wine here, vinegar, and some ground white pepper. Okay, so you've definitely noticed that I have 2 bowls of noodles here. This is 250 grams of lo mein noodles, and this is 250 grams of lo mein noodles. Now, normally when I make an order of lo mein, like anything chicken or shrimp or beef, I use 500 grams of lo mein because for one thing, I have a pretty big wok and I also have a pretty good burner that has a high heat. All right, so now the key to cooking Chinese takeout style food at home is that you have to cook your food really hot and really fast. Think about it, at the Chinese restaurants, they have a very high powered fire in their stove, and they also have a really good seasoned wok, and that's the main reason why they can get your food out of the kitchen really fast. So you have to do the same thing, and that is what differentiates a really good Chinese restaurant from, you know, cooking at home, right? So one way that you can sort of achieve a high heat at your home, especially if you don't have a high powered stove, or maybe you're using an electric stove, what you can do is you can cook less portions, all right? So in other words, split the portion in half, right? This way your wok and your stove doesn't have to work too hard, because if you overfill your wok with too much ingredients and your stove is not powerful enough, you're gonna steam your food in a wok instead. And that is one really big reason why people who have sticky noodle situations, because for one thing, the wok is not hot enough, but most importantly, the fire is not hot enough. And in turn, you can cook your food a lot faster and make your food a lot tastier, very similar to Chinese takeout style. Okay, so now at home, if you already have a well-seasoned wok and you have a very high-powered stove, I put down below the full recipe. Now for folks at home that are using a stove that doesn't have a lot of fire, or you're not using a really well-seasoned wok, I cut the recipe in half, and I also put the ingredient list below as well for you also. Now for this demonstration, I'm going to cook the half portion version because I know the majority of people at home watching most likely don't have a very high-powered stove. So let's get going. Okay, now the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cook my shrimp halfway. The reason why you wanna cook your shrimp halfway is because if you cook your shrimp from start to finish, shrimp overcook very easily, and when they overcook, they'll be like little rubber pieces. So I'm gonna set my heat on medium, and when it starts to smoke, I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of oil. Spread the oil around. So I'm going to add in half portion of my shrimp, so just 12 pieces. And 2 more. Okay, that's it. Take off my shrimp. See, it's that fast. I'm gonna put in half of the onions. Throw in half my carrots, half my Napa cabbage, I'm going to cook these until the onions turn a little bit transparent and the Napa cabbage has shrunk. Alright, my onions have turned transparent. Throw in half my mushroom. Cook for about 10 seconds. Add 2 teaspoons of oil. Throw in your noodles. See, my noodles aren't sticking together because my pan is very hot. All right, time to throw in the sauce. 1 tablespoon light soy sauce. 1 teaspoon dark soy sauce. 1 tablespoon oyster sauce. 1 teaspoon Chinese cooking wine. Half a teaspoon of sesame oil. A teaspoon of vinegar. And a dash of ground pepper. Turn your fire back on to a medium high. Draw your shrimp back in. Half the bean sprouts. Half the spring onions. And that's it. Now, another important thing that you have to do right at this point is you have to taste your noodles. I've cooked this like a bunch of times, so I know the seasoning is just right for me. But for you at home, right, if you just taste a little bit first, because it's not too late for you to add soy sauce, oyster sauce, or more sesame oil if you like it. But it's really important that you add just a little bit at a time, because if you add too much, you can't take it out. Okay, so this is the second portion that I cooked. It's mixed in with some of the first portion that I cooked. So as you can see from these two plates, it's a very, very big portion. So I believe that a lot of you, when you guys follow recipes, maybe the portions for the lo mein noodles is like very big, like 500 grams or whatever. And that's pretty too much for a, you know, not a strong fire on a stove to handle. So that is why I recommend, if you're making lo mein noodles and your stove is not too strong, not too powerful, just split the recipe in half. And I'm telling you, it'll make a big difference. And you can see my noodles are not sticky at all, and it is not super oily at all. Hey, all right, and there you go. My shrimp lo mein. Look at that. Looks really tasty, doesn't it? Speaking about taste, let's taste this out. The seasoning is just right. Shrimp not overcooked at all. It's still very moist, plump, and tender. And you saw a lot of smoke coming out from my wok, and that imparts some flavor into my noodles. And as you can tell, my noodles are not sticky at all. Okay, so for you folks at home with the sticky noodle situation, try what I do. I know it will work out very well for you. If you have any questions, just leave a comment below, and I'll try and answer your questions as best as I can. Okay everyone, so if you like this video and find it helpful, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. And to all my current subscribers, you are the best. And I hope to see you all again next time. Take care and goodbye.